Hello and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial video, and in this video I want to show you a scenario that we recently solved, and probably if you are running into same scenario then you can basically see it, and I try to give the relevant title as much as possible so that you will land onto the right video for your problem. Okay, so the scenario that I want to show you is that we have the projects, right? And in these projects, we have the different employees into different location. Like employee number 101 is in Delhi, employee number 102 is in Delhi, but their cost centers are different. C01, C25. If you see for project number 2, we have employee 201, 202 in Mumbai, and their cost center is M01, M25. Same is for Chennai for third employee C01, C25. So what was C20? What is C25? C25 is a default cost center. When any new employee joins, right, it will have a basically a default cost center, and then later it needs to be changed to the main cost center, which is C01. So that is our situation, that whomsoever is the latest employee, in this case 102, 202, 302 is the latest employee, the second employee in the projects, they should get the cost center of the actual cost center and not the default cost center. So this is generally a scenario in companies where the change happens, and based on this change you have to make sure it should reflect correctly in your data. So that is our pattern, right? And we want to solve this change by creating a new column into the data set. Okay, so over here what I can do is I need to go into the table view. The same table is present over here, right? Make sure this table is selected, and you click on the new column, and this is a sample data that I created, so you can simply copy it from screen if you want to practice it along with me. So I create a new column, and in this column what we need to do is first of all we need to say new cost center or updated cost center, right? So our new cost center will be, we have to use the calculate function. In this calculate we have to take the first non-blank, just to make sure that first non-blank, if anything is coming as blank then we are taking it at 0. So what do we have is basically the project, the cost center. We need to take the cost center over here, and 0, right? So that is our first non-blank value, and then what do we need to do is we have to then apply the filter condition, because we have to filter it based on whomsoever is the latest employee is based on who was the previous employee. So that is our minimum value and that is our maximum value, because this is based on the number, right? That's how we have solved it. In your scenario it may be a little bit different, so you may have to tweak it, right? So but I want to show you the concept over here. So we need to provide the table, which is 3S in this case, right? And we want to basically tell it that this project, the project name is basically, or the project number is basically the earlier project number. That is our first condition, right? And our next condition is that our employee ID is based on the minimum employee ID. So within the calculate function we are saying minimum employee ID, and we want to filter it based on the project again, right? The previous project. So this will be project, where are you, 3S project equals to earlier 3S project. I know it looks complex, it is complex, right? That's why I'm showing you this scenario. So what's going on? Again, we want to get the cost center value, so we have provided that in the first non-blank function just to make sure that it should not be applying. Then we are filtering. So in the calculate function we are filtering the data, saying that we want to filter the 3S, which is the third scenario. And by the way, what I mean by third scenario is in this, so this is the workbook where I'm having multiple scenarios, and based on the scenario I create the table. So this is a third scenario, so a table related to third scenario. And if you want to get this workbook, you can get it based on the information given in the description, so that you can get all of these calculation and previous scenario, and in future if I put it, the future scenarios as well. So we have the 3S, and we are saying that based on the earlier project. So if we are on this row number 2, it will say that this is based on this. But that's not the case, right? Because if we move on to 2, we don't want to get it from this one. So that's why we are putting an AND condition. And then we are saying that employee is equals to the minimum of employee. And then we are filtering. So we are putting two conditions, minimum employee and the relevant project for that. And that is what's going on in the filtering condition over here. So if I hit enter, it should produce us a new column. So now if you see, for employee number 1, C01, employee number 102, from C25 it is now changed to C01. Similarly for 201 and 202, this 301 and 302, this. So that's how basically you can go ahead and do this operation, right? And I know it took us a time to basically figure out a solution, and after a lot of back and forth, but I hope in this 6 minutes you got this answer. So make sure for scenarios like this, you hit the subscribe button, go through these scenarios. These can be tricky, and the scenario that you can receive in the interview as well. So make sure you have a grip on this and able to understand and articulate it, and also modify it based on your own needs and situation. With that, thank you so much, and I'll meet you in the next video, the new topic.